So thank you all for coming. Today we're celebrating Krishna Janmashtami, which actually takes place tomorrow. Yet it is Nitya Lila, it is an eternal pastime, so we're already starting with it today. And right now they're already starting to celebrate in New Zealand and Fiji and those places. So if you can't be on time, at least be early. It's good. We have this start, and tomorrow you can celebrate with your family, your friends, at your company, in your village, in your city, wherever you might be. Alright? Or in your cave, whatever you happen to be at that time. So we'll read a little bit of Bhagavad Gita. We'll discuss a few verses and hear some of the wisdom of the philosophy that surrounds Krishna's appearance in this world and also his pastimes. Alright. See me on the timeline? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this is 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Transcendental Knowledge, and the verses are 7, 8, and 9. Om Ajnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripadamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. But first, a few words before we start on the Abhishek. For some of you, this might be quite new and a little peculiar. Why are they bathing the forms of the Lord? Abhisheka is the auspicious welcoming ceremony which is offered when an important personality appears. It is offered to guests and naturally also to the Supreme Personality of Godhead when He appears in this world. It is a welcome, it is a celebration, it is a show of honor, of respect, and it is a salutation to appreciate that arrival of that personality. So there, flowers are offered, different types of ointments are offered, sandalwood, different types of liquids are poured upon the deity, Panchagavya, Panchamrita, and different fruit juices, and of course water. And then the Lord is being given a wonderful massage with different powders and oils and ointments, and then again bathed, and now he's being cleansed and dressed in new clothes. So that's basically what you just witnessed the last hour or so. I don't remember how long it was. So, did you like it? It was nice, right? Very auspicious, special. And now we have the kids going crazy, which is also part of the program. There is another room. If somebody wants to play with the kids in the other room, that would help, because in this way the attention would stay focused here on the class. So if they get a little loud and wild, you can take them over there. For now we're still cool, but just keep an eye on. So Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata vyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, in the beginning, Krishna says that whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So Krishna is stating the reason of his appearance. He's saying that whenever things are going sideways, whenever things are declining in this world, he will appear in his form in order to establish Dharma. So, and the next one, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with these verses, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear, millennium after millennium. In other words, this is not the first time the Lord has appeared, and the Lord has many different forms. Rama di Shumurtushe, Rama di Murtishu. Starting with Rama, Rama Adi. There are so many murtis, there are so many different forms that the Lord appears in different times. Now we can see in different religious traditions, there are different teachers, different saints, also different incarnations that are being worshipped. So the Lord is unlimited. As it is stated in Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Madhyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Dhurlabham Adhurlabham Atmabhaktao Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, there are unlimited forms of the Lord, just like waves in the ocean. How many waves are there in the ocean? Approximately. Unlimited, yes, that's approximately correct. Unlimited. So, as there are unlimited waves, there are unlimited forms of the Lord, because the Lord is unlimited. And He comes time and time again, whenever the time has come, because things tend to degenerate, things tend to decline. Have you noticed how everything tends to go down? Oh, it wasn't what it was before. Like you go back to your hometown after a few years, and you go like, what happened? Everything's gone down, right? So, that's a natural occurrence here in this world. So the Lord comes again to uplift, to bring things back to the normal standards. And also He wants to curb the demoniac influences, the people who are gaining too much power, who are making life exceedingly difficult for others. He's also diminishing their influence, and He's again supporting and exalting the saintly persons and re-establishing the principles of Dharma. And then the verse that I will focus on, Janma karma chame divyang evang yoveti tattvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So here in this verse, Krishna says that if you know the true nature of my appearance and of my activities, you don't have to take birth here in this world. How does that sound for you?
Good.
What do you think?
I have to, könnt ihr das auf Deutsch sagen? Ich habe nur die
Ja.
Hälfte verstanden.
Wenn du die wahre Natur von Krishnas Erscheinen und
Ja.
von Krishnas Spielen kennst,
Ja.
wirst du nicht wiedergeboren in dieser Welt. Wie klingt das?
Das klingt so, als ob Krishna halt eben, ja, dass man seine göttliche Natur erkennt, und wenn man seine göttliche Natur erkannt hat, dann verweilt man lieber im Himmel als auf der Erde,
Ja, genau.
oder so. Also
Verstehst
das,
du Englisch ein bisschen? Oder?
Ja, ich verstehe Englisch schon, aber
Okay.
ich kann nicht immer folgen.
Ja, ja,
Ich
kein
bin kein
Problem.
Muttersprachler in Englisch.
Jemand anders noch, der Mühe hat mit Englisch? Ist okay? Alright. Du sagst einfach, wenn etwas nicht
Ja.
klar ist, dann
Okay.
werde ich das klären. Vielen Dank. Ja, genau, so ist es. So Krishna is basically inviting us back to His own abode. He's inviting us to His party. Pretty cool, right? With the biggest personality, like right now, some, so-called big people got married in Mumbai, and they wasted a whole lot of money on that one. And everyone was like, "What? I didn't get invited. What's wrong here? Like, what's wrong with these people? I didn't get my watch. I didn't get my, my fancy, I don't know what they were having." And so, but Krishna is very kindly inviting us to his eternal Nitya Lila, to his eternal pastime. And he's saying, simply you have to know about my nature, my activities, and my appearance. And then that will be sufficient to come back to me. So, right now, if you were to ask anybody, and that includes people of any denomination, what is your goal? What do you want to achieve? People will say, I want to go to heaven, I want to get liberation, get free from suffering, I want to get rid of karma, end samsara, nirvana, I want to enjoy forever. But that's all pretty external. That's all pretty minor stuff. What about having a eternal, loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and in complete union? So that is available, yet first of all, we have to know who is that Supreme Personality of Godhead. You ask anyone who's God, you get a whole bunch of funny ideas, right? You can do that. You can do that experiment next week. You ask on the street or in the job, you ask people, who's God? You get some pretty interesting answers. Have you heard people who will say, God is Jesus, or God is Mohammed, or this one? And you say, no, that was the prophet. That was the teacher. That wasn't God. He's the son of God, but he's not God. He brings the message of the Father, but he's not God. So, even in Hinduism, you'll get a whole bunch of ideas of who God could be. So, if we want to know, we have to consult Shastra. We have to consult Scripture, because we cannot empirically ascertain the absolute truth, because we are limited. We are conditioned souls, and as conditioned souls we are flawed with the 4 defects. We haben 4 Mängel. What are they? We got imperfect senses. I can't see through this wall. You don't know what the menu is today. Now I have an idea because I was cutting the vegetables, but still I don't know how it all turned out. Why? Because I have imperfect senses. I only see what I can perceive. And that's like, the 4 blind guys, touching the elephant. You only see what you can according to your perspective, or what you like to see, wishful thinking, projection, and so on. But you don't really ever get the full picture. Right now we look into this room, we see about, 80, 90%, but the rest is not visible to us because we're limited. Then also, sometimes we're under illusion. Have you noticed? Like you heard about the great land of Germany, where honey and milk are flowing, and everybody has 3 Mercedes, and chauffeur. And then you get here and you realize, dang, this is hard work. And this is not even as luxurious as back home when I was living wherever you were living. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that you can be a little bit in illusion sometimes? There's the American dream, the German dream, and whichever dream, the dream of the material world. And then there's das schreckliche Erwachen. There is the crude awakening. Then what else is there? We have imperfect senses, we are under the illusion. Sometimes we make mistakes. Anyone has made mistakes in their lives?
Yes.
Or is it just me? One person has said yes, okay, this is a very good sign of honesty. All the others are perfect, don't want to embarrass anyone. But it can happen. Some people are never wrong, but they're not always right. So it's possible to make mistakes. And then of course, the 4th one, which is a little embarrassing, sometimes we tend to cheat. Cheating. We have the tendency to cheat. Has this ever happened to you? Like you're on the bus or on the train, and the conductor comes, you know, who wants to sell you a ticket, and you just look the other way, and you pretend like you've been on this train for, 12 hours. You don't do this, right? Never, ever. Or sometimes you think, did I chant my Kimadan Japa? It's evening, 11 o'clock, you had a hard day, and you look at your japa beads, and there's still four rounds there. And you're not sure, did I chant my 4 rounds, or did I not chant my 4 rounds? Oh yeah, I chanted my 4 rounds. Has this ever happened to you? That you try to cut a corner? Eine kleine Abkürzung finden? So, these are the 4 flaws of the conditioned soul. Therefore, we can't ascertain the Supreme. And by following people who are also flawed by these 4 faults, we can also not ascertain the Supreme. But the Supreme can be ascertained Atapi te deva bhujam bhujadvaya prasada lesha nugrihita evahi janasya tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanyai kopi viram vichinvan. This is Lord Brahma praying after Brahma Vimohana Lila, after he tried to put a big trick on Krishna. He tried he tried his luck. And after that he realized that he was playing with fire. So then he said, some people claim to know you, but actually no one can know you unless you give him a little bit of your mercy. Otherwise you can't know him. Just like a big person, you can't know a big person. Why? Because they're above and beyond your sense of perception. You don't know how powerful they are. You don't know how wealthy they are. You don't know about their private life and affairs. You know what some guy wrote somewhere in some newspaper. So, unless that person reveals themselves, we won't be able to know who they actually are. If you were, even now, to ask people in India, who is Krishna? You get some very funny answers. Have you noticed? When you tell them you worship Krishna, you get some pretty interesting feedback, right? There was 2 policemen walking down the street in Delhi, and one tells the other one, you know, this is really bad. We're worshipping a thief, Because Krishna is known as Makanchor. He's the butter thief. He's the one who stole butter and a whole bunch of other things. And he says, we're policemen, we're representing the law. And here we are worshipping a thief. This is not good. And the other one says, you got it all wrong. Krishna is simply stealing the hearts, the love of all the devotees. That's what he does. Because actually everything already belongs to him. How can you say that someone is stealing if they're just taking what already is theirs? Everything belongs to Krishna. The whole universe belongs to Krishna. What to speak of butter? All living entities belong to him. We're all his energy. We're all his potency. So you can't call him a thief. But why is Krishna doing this? Just like we hear, Krishna appeared tomorrow at midnight. Where? Where did Krishna appear? Work with me, people. Now we've got masters, we got PhDs, we got engineers, we got businessmen, we got mothers and grandmothers and very resilient people here. You have to work with me here, okay? Where did Krishna appear?
Was it not in the prison of
In the
Kamsa?
prison.
Yeah, where was that, geographically speaking?
Mathura.
No, Mathura. Where is Mathura?
India.
India? Yes. UP. Okay. So, in the prison cell of Kamsa. Now, why would God appear in the prison cell of a demoniac king? Any idea? Any idea?
Like you said in the beginning, he appears whenever there is
Yes. But why he comes to that place? I mean, prison cell. It's like a dungeon, It's not such a nice place.
His mother was there.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's God. He can appear anywhere he wants. He can come down on a swan airplane. He can, he can do whatever he wants. Why he appears in the prison? You see, this is all bringing us to the point. We have to know this in truth, in depth. Not just, Krishna, Janmashtami, Haribol, okay, business as usual, let's go on, we go on with our lives. Why does he do what he does? We got to know this. Not only you got to know it to get back to Krishna. We have some special effects today. But also, people will ask you, oh, so you're worshiping Krishna, right? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about the other thing? And you go, let me check. I'll get back to you, okay? So we have to do our homework. Otherwise, it'll catch up with you at the most unopportune moment. So, Krishna is Rasa Bihari, he's Rasa Raj. What is Rasa?
Taste.
Taste or mellow, yes. Whatever we do in life is because of taste. Young boys, they have to play and they have to wreck things, wreck things. They have to, because that's what young boys do. They have to do that. It's in their nature. Why? Because that's where the rasa is. That's where they get the enjoyment. So, Krishna is the king of all enjoyment. He has all different types of relationships. Now, that sounds like a big drama, right? Like a big orchestrated theater play. Now, what do you need to have a big drama? What is required? What is necessary? What kind of protagonists? Was für Schauspieler braucht man für ein großes Schauspiel? I know you come from science and engineering backgrounds, but you're people also, right? You got emotions, and so what has to be there for a good drama?
I would say the evil or some kind of...
There has to be a bad guy. Okay, what else?
Hero.
A hero. Okay, what else?
Audience.
Can't hear you.
Audience.
Audience, yes, of course. What else?
Emotions.
Yeah, rasa. That happens through the interaction of the different actors.
Story.
You will need the stage.
Story.
A story, yeah, the storyline, yeah. If they just stand there, nothing happens. Not much fun, right? What else?
Platform or the stage.
Yeah.
Perform.
That's given. We're talking about the people now.
Bad events.
Huh?
Bad events.
Bad events, yes. What else?
Victims.
Victims, yeah. What about a beautiful girl? Do you want to have a beautiful girl there? What about many beautiful girls? No? Not required, right? We don't need that. Okay. What else?
I want to say some kind of a romance or something like this.
Yeah, romance. There has to be romance. There has to be fighting. There has to be tension. Now, how much drama is there if Krishna appears in a prison cell of the king, and there's danger, and the king wants to kill him, and he already killed all the other babies that took birth before him? Hey, are you with me? You get the tension? You get the excitement? Huh? You feel it? You can sense it? It's not just, oh yeah, he came, and yada, and this and that, and give me some more pakoras. No. You have to get into the bhav. You have to get into the mood of this whole pastime. Otherwise, you'll just see it on the surface. If you ask any general person on the street, or even in India, who is Krishna, what will they tell you? Oh, he's a coward boy. Oh, he's a prince. Oh yeah, he was a yogi. Oh yeah, he spoke the Gita. He did this, he did that. How many people will actually say he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Now Brahma says it, Shiva says it, all the demigods say it, but the common people don't know. When Krishna was present here on the planet, only a handful of people knew that he was the Supreme Personality of God. Why does he do that? Because Krishna is God. He's not feeling insecure. He doesn't have to go and canvass to be elected as God or to be elected as president. He is God. And all he does is exchanging love with his devotees. That's all he does. He doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't have to do business. And that's a little reminder for our business-minded friends, that if you want to do business with God, you're not dealing with Krishna. You're dealing with Durga, with Kali, with Shiva, with Shakti, with any of the other agents, but not with Krishna. Because Krishna is all play and no work. Krishna doesn't go to office. He doesn't have to respond to demands, because all he does is exchanging rasa. So as soon as we have a business mentality, which means I'll give a little something, but I want this much. Dhanam dehi, rupam dehi, dehi ma dehi. I want. Then you're not dealing with Krishna. You're dealing with his agents. You're dealing with, job center. You heard of job center? Yeah, you did? Okay. Yeah, you're dealing with HR, you're dealing with, okay, is this guy an asset? Is he a liability? How much can he offer? Okay, how much can we squeeze in? And all that kind of stuff. So, if you want to get the highest thing, you have to be willing to comply with Krishna's rules, because he's the one who makes the rules. And remember, the one who makes the rules, he can break the rules. So sometimes Krishna does things that are seemingly contrary, that are seemingly difficult to understand. Just like Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. And why would Krishna do that? Everything was perfect. It was the full moon in the autumn season, and the most beautiful girls of the entire existence were there, and Krishna was there. There was a beautiful breeze blowing, jasmine blooming, lotuses, the Jamuna. But Krishna disappeared. Why does he do that? Why would he disappear in the most perfect of situations? Any idea?
He's always happy, you don't need it.
He's always happy. He doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need anything. He's Atma Rama. He's self-satisfied. But why at that exact moment would he just disappear? Why would he do that? Can't he be also happy by dancing with the girls? Why does he need to play these pranks, these tricks, Make them heartbroken, make them cry and go crazy?
Because everybody of the gopis were thinking Krishna is just with them.
Because?
All the gopis were thinking Krishna is just with me, so therefore he disappeared.
That's a part of it. Actually, the major part was they were getting a little proud.
Yes.
They were thinking, we're the most fortunate and we're the most elevated, the most exalted girls in the entire existence. And actually, Krishna is attached to us, and we got him. We got him. And as soon as Krishna noticed that type of attitude, poof, he was gone.
Möchte den Trennungsschmerz erhöhen.
Yes, he wants to draw out more love. And for that, he will do anything that's required to draw out more love. Even if it means sometimes making the devotee a little anxious, making the devotee a little disturbed. Where is Krishna? Where is he? He Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suna Kutaha. The Goswamis, our predecessor acharyas, our teachers, even though they are eternal associates of Krishna and Radha, they know what's going on, what the pastimes are, but they're showing us what is the proper mood, what is the proper attitude of a devotee. A devotee doesn't say, I know Krishna, I own Krishna, I know what Krishna is doing. A devotee says, where is Krishna? How can I attain Krishna? Diese Sehnsucht, this longing, this aspiration of Krishna, please come and give me your mercy, give me your association. That is the proper mood that we should develop, and that will call Krishna, and Krishna will become present. And oftentimes, separation makes the heart grow fonder. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? Like right now you're in a different country, you're not with your bai and sister and your mom and this and that, they're all in different places. And now we're thinking more of them than if we're actually living with them. Because whatever becomes ordinary becomes ordinary. Huh? Because we get used to it. So Krishna does this in order to draw out more love from his devotees. You had another point? I didn't.
No, it was with the crowd.
Same. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So Krishna has a peculiar sense of humor, and for that he doesn't see any obstacle how to create more rasa, how to create more tension in this divine play. Just like we were mentioning what Krishna pulled with Brahma. Brahma one time, he got a little bewildered. He saw Krishna surrounded by all his friends. Now Krishna has unlimited amount of friends. They were like petals of a flower. Krishna was sitting in the center, and they were all sharing lunch because as young boys they were herding the calves. And this is when before they were 5 years old, they were still young, between 4 and 5. And they were herding the young calves, and they were taking them out to the forest for grazing. You have seen, right? You may not have done, but you have seen. Young boys, they take out the calves and take care of them. And then their mothers were packing picnic lunch bags for them. So they had their own provisions with them. Now, usually some demon came that tried to interrupt their play, and Krishna or Balaram killed that demon. And then that was the time for taking lunch. Then they felt like, yeah, okay, now we had some excitement now. Now we're hungry, right? Young boys always have to eat. Have you noticed? You don't have any kids, right? You don't know. But if you have kids, you notice. They need to eat all the time, especially boys. So, when they play hard. So they sat down, but before they sat down, they were stealing each other's lunch bags. And then throwing it to someone else, and then throwing it to someone else, and throwing it to someone else. And that boy was running around till he started crying. Then everyone was laughing, and they gave him back their bag. Why do boys do that? Any idea? Play. What does play mean? Rasa! Relationship, enjoyment. You may say, oh, this is very cruel, this is very bad, how can you do that? You ever had a love fight with a friend where you go like, hey, and you say some things that if you normally would say them, in your company, you will get thrown out? Do you ever do that? No, you don't, right? Do you have friends? I don't mean like those so-called people on social media. I mean like friends, that where you can actually, be yourself and experience these kind of emotions. So, then they sat down and they ate whatever their mothers had packed for them. They had samosas and they had loglus and they had burfis and all different kinds of sweets. And Krishna, he had some curd rice and some nicely prepared fruit salad, and he was eating that curd rice, yogurt with rice and fruits, very palatable, mixed together with some sandesh and some mango. You can imagine? Very nice, right? And he's eating that with his left hand. Now what does your mom tell you? Are you allowed to eat with your left hand? No bueno, right? Nicht gut. Boo-boo. Nah. No, not. Yeah. But Krishna was eating with his left hand. And Brahma was watching all this from behind the clouds and was thinking, is this boy the one who created everything and who is my Lord? And he's playing games and he's eating with his left hand. Let me check. Let me check and see if this is really him. Maybe it's just some mystic person. I don't know. because he's limited in his perception. Brahma only knows what he's allowed to know. He only knows what's going on in this universe. He doesn't have all the information. So what did he do? The calves were wandering away, and Krishna told his friends, "Oh, don't worry, keep eating lunch. I'm going to go and get all these calves back." So Krishna walked off with the yogurt and the fruit dripping from his left hand. And he went after, but he couldn't find the calves. They were gone. Why they were gone? Because Brahma stole them and put them into mystic slumber in a cave. And then Krishna was a little puzzled. And Brahma thought, "Oh, this is fun. This is fun, playing a trick here." And then Krishna came back, and the cowherd boys were gone, because Brahma stole them also and put them to sleep in a cave. And then Krishna was standing there bewildered. And Brahma thought, "Oh yeah, I know how to play games." So, but then it's a whole long story. I'm making it short. Then Krishna expanded himself into the cowards, boys, and into the calves. And he became all these cowherd boys and calves, because Krishna has unlimited potencies, so he can take any form, he can take any kind of expansion. And so Brahma, after he had put the boys and the calves to sleep, after one moment for his time, which was 1 year in earthly time, there's a different time scale here than up there. So after one moment he came back, and he saw that, we got some troop movement here. He saw that the cowherd boys were playing, and the calves were there, and everything was like normal. And he got really bewildered, and he started scratching all his foreheads. What's going on here? And he went back to the cave, and he saw they're still sleeping. And then he came there, and they're still playing, and they're still sleeping, they're still playing. He went back and forth, and he got confused. It just like system shutdown, like blue screen of death, right? Just like. And then he saw something really magical. He saw that all these cowherd boys and calves assumed Vishnu forms, and they showed Krishna showed that actually I am all these boys and all these calves. And Brahma realized that I had played with fire. I have done the wrong thing. I tested my Lord, but I could not really comprehend his great potency. And then he composed that verse that I just spoke before. And while he was offering his prayers, Krishna was just standing there, small 4-year-old boy, like our friend here. And Krishna was just looking at him, and he still had curd rice and yogurt and fruit dripping from his left arm. And he looked at Brahma like, "Who are you?" And Brahma realized that his presence was no longer required, that he could go back to his job, to do his service of cosmic, maintenance and creation. So, these pastimes are there in Srimad Bhagavatam and in the Krishna book, and we have the wonderful opportunity to actually relish these pastimes. Yet, if we only have a superficial understanding, like most people, they have some kind of knowledge, but it's very limited. They know some historical facts, they know some sociological facts, some economical facts, some geographical facts, some psychological facts, but they don't really know tattva. They don't really know the whole picture, the whole truth. Why? Just like in a company. If you want higher security clearance, you have to do more work. You have to do more service. Have you noticed? If you become a manager, a team leader, a project leader, if you become an associate, you become the boss, then you know more about what's going on than if you're just there hacking away, dealing with a few, customer-related issues. So in a similar way in Bhakti, if you want to get the bigger picture, if you want to get a higher type of experience, ask yourself, well, how is this possible? Well, do more service. Do more seva. And I guarantee you that automatically your comprehension, your realization, and your resources will expand. They will increase. Because Krishna will give you all these higher types of understandings. But you see, bhakti is not a spectator sport. It's not something you play on your remote control, or, that you watch in a comics, or you see some series, about Mahabharata or something. No. Bhakti is something that you actually do. So there has to be three components: bhakti, bhakta, and bhagavan. There has to be the Supreme Lord, the devotee, and devotional service. So we should ask ourselves today, on the eve of the day Adivas, before Krishna's appearance, what is my service? What am I doing to invite Krishna into my heart? Just like Krishna first appeared in the unalloyed mind and heart, heart-mind, same thing, of Vasudeva. And then he got transferred into Devaki's, his wife's, heart and mind, and then into her womb. And then Krishna appeared in his four-armed form as Vishnu, in his grandiose form. And Devaki and Vasudeva offered their prayers. And then Devaki said, please become an ordinary, a small baby, because then I can hide you and protect you. Because that was Yogamaya. That was the bewildering potency of the Lord. Vatsalya Ras, of the loving emotion of a mother. A parent wants to protect and nourish and take care of their children. Now, how are you going to take care of a child that's huge? Doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. Baby has to be small. Baby can't be huge. So Krishna said, okay, all right. So he changed his form and he appeared seemingly like a normal baby. And then Vasudeva, he took him and it's a long story. You can read it in the Bhagavatam or in the Krishna book. All the guards were asleep. They went over Jamuna to Gokul. He exchanged it with Yogamaya. And he brought that girl back to the prison cell of Kamsa. So there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of suspense. Now, why are people watching, telenovela, soap operas, daytime TV? Why are people doing that? Why are you watching Netflix? Why are you watching series? Any idea?
Rasa.
Rasa. Taste, right? Like when people ask me why you're doing this bhakti thing, like you're a white guy, you're Christian background. Jai Sri Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai Haribo. Then we could give them a philosophical, theological, historical, sociological explanation why we do what we do. But usually I found that it's much better if you just give them an emotional response, because usually it's an emotional question. And that warrants an emotional response. So I tell them, if they're Deshis, people from India, I tell them, Rasam. Have you ever had Rasam? Who here likes Rasam? Anyone? Few people. 3 people like it. The others, we don't give them Rasam. Rasam is a South Indian soup. Very tasty. Very, very nice. Because of Rasa. We do whatever we do in life because of Rasa. Okay, you may say I got to go to work and I got to, clean the bathroom, and I don't have really rasa in that, but it's kind of part of the package. So, Krishna is the source of all rasa, of all relationships. And we can invite him into our hearts, into our lives, when our hearts are clean. How do we clean our hearts? Chaitudarpana Marjana, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just like today, Rupa Vilas Prabhu and his good wife, they cleaned their apartment because they knew that so many guests are going to come. That's why it's good to have guests, right? So your place gets clean. Hint, hint. So, if we want to invite the Lord into our hearts, into our minds, then we should ask ourselves, well, what's happening in my heart and in my mind? Of course, the Lord is always there, but that is in His impersonal aspect and His localized aspect, as Brahman and as Paramatma. But I want Him to be present as Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is the one who gives you the full experience, the full rasa. In Brahman, you only have Shantaras. You only have, oh, big mountain, big tree, big fire, big ocean. Oh, okay, nice, that's it. But there is no personal interaction. So if you want personal interaction, you're in the right place. Shri Radha Govinda are willing to engage in loving exchanges with all the living entities, yet we have to take guidance from devotees who have experience, who know what they like, how they like to be served, how we can actually approach them. Like you can't go up to a big person and just address him personally. But if you're introduced by a secretary, an assistant, an associate, then it's very easy to get to know them and to develop a relationship with them. So, one time I was in Mumbai, and I'm closing with this little anecdote, and then we open up for a few questions and reflections. And how many of you have been to Mumbai? You know St. Xavier's College? Chowpatty Beach? Huh? Marine Drive? Right there? Kulfi, Kulfi, Kulfi? Huh? You know that place, right? Okay. You see, you just have to say one word and everybody gets it. Kulfi. They get the idea. So don't speak big philosophy, okay? Just find key words. And in this way you can actually communicate your ideas. And there was a traffic cop, a policeman, dressed all in white. He was a motor brigade guy, you know, all in white, big boots, the helmet. He had big, shiny, golden Ray-Ban sunglasses, you know, Top Gun, that kind of ones, reflecting. And he had just stopped a small truck and got the donation / bribe from him for whatever he was charging him. And just at that moment, I intercepted him. So big, tall, white guy, you know, big nose, just comes in there, and I put a book into the cop's hand, and he was a little perplexed. Because here's this foreigner, puts a book in my hand, and and in his other hand he's holding the bribe. And it was a little strange situation, right? So then, the truck driver started to laugh. And the cop started to laugh. And we all laughed together. And I told him, give a donation. And he was perplexed what to do. Because here he got the bribe and here he has the books. And so he gave me the bribe. And he kept the book. And then we were all laughing. And then what started out to be a very awkward situation. You imagine? You get stopped by the police and they want money from you and it becomes like a whole thing. It ended in something very auspicious. And then at the end, I told him, well, my name is Naveen, what's your name? And the cop said, my name is Krishna. And we laughed more. Because Krishna in India is a name, you know? Like, so many names. So Krishna is one of the names there. And we were all laughing. So I could see how Krishna's unique humor can turn around a situation that looks very unfavorable, very inauspicious. A lot of tension, a lot of bad feelings, a lot of anxiety. We planned this, you know. We rehearsed this many times. Now it's working. Okay. The gods are with us. So then it got completely turned around and the whole atmosphere became auspicious and favorable. In a similar way, the prison cell of Kamsa, it was a dungeon. It was a terrible place of suffering and death. But Krishna appeared there and he turned the whole scenario around and he made everything auspicious. Sometimes, I don't know about your lives, you're probably living the great fabulous life, but sometimes my life looks like there is challenges, there is danger, there's obstacles, there's things that are going wrong. Have you had that experience in your life? Or it's all just being smooth ride? It was a bumpy road, right? It was a bumpy road to come here, to come to this point. So, but if you are Krishna conscious, if Krishna is in the center of your life, because you make him the center of your life, not your boss, not your career, not even your family. No, they're all part of the protagonist. They're all part of the drama. But Krishna is the main person. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Have you tried to please people? Anyone? You have. Have you succeeded?
Sometimes.
You can please some people sometimes, but you can't please all the people all the time. Somebody will always complain. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Even when you've done everything right, someone will always complain. But Krishna is very easy to be pleased. Krishna says, you give me a fruit, a flower, a leaf, or water. If you do it with love, I'll accept it. And the good thing is, because Krishna is the root of all existence, if Krishna is pleased, everyone automatically becomes pleased. That's pretty cool, right? That's a one-stop solution, one shop, solving all the problems. So, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to do our duty, fulfill our responsibilities, and care about our family, friends, and colleagues and job, but it means that we have our priorities in proper order. So, these are a few reflections on today's verses. Questions, comments, or reflections? We got another 10 minutes or so, depending on how lively our audience is. Yes, there will be prasadam, there will be time for discussion, and all of that. So I humbly like to ask each and every one of you, please read the Bhagavad Gita every day. I know you're leading busy lives, you got jobs, you got families. Can you read one verse a day? Is that possible? We need a verbal yes. It's like if you're in the exit row in the aisle seat. You need a verbal yes. Otherwise they'll seat you on the back of the plane near the toilet. So, can you read one verse?
Yes.
Are you going to do it?
Yes.
Or are you going to scroll your way through the galaxy? It's not a fight you can win, you see. But if you read one verse, in 2 years you finish the Gita. In 46 years, you finish the Bhagavatam. You can do it, but you got to start today. You already read 3 verses today. It's a pretty good start, I would say. Of course, also purports, because that will give us context. Because if we lack context, then it doesn't mean much. Like so many people are talking tech, have you noticed? Especially people in marketing and people in management, but they have no clue of what they're talking about. Right? And you know it after 3 words that they have no clue what they're talking about. Why? What are they lacking? They're lacking context. They may have memorized a couple of buzzwords, but they don't really know what the job is because they have never done it. So in a similar way, we're not just here to tick off a few boxes and to feel a little less bad about ourselves. We are here to actually re-establish our eternal relationship with Krishna. And then to share some of this happiness, some of this wisdom with one and all. Krishna reveals not only his own true nature, he reveals the nature of this world, he reveals our nature, he reveals all this in the Bhagavad Gita. So if we were to read the Gita and we were to chant Hare Krishna, then we would actually lead a pretty sublime life. So that's what Krishna offering us. That's his offer. And it's a free gift. He's not asking for any price. Especially in his incarnation as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda. He's very, very magnanimous. He's very generous. Krishna says, as you surrender, I'll reciprocate, I'll reward. But Mahaprabhu says, take, take, take. You can see? Take, take, take. So, it is a very, very kind and very magnanimous process. And don't limit yourself. Feel free to upgrade your goals and your aspirations. Are you upgrading your apps? Yes, you are. Because otherwise the stuff just doesn't work anymore. So we should also feel free to upgrade our consciousness and to upgrade our desires and to upgrade our aspirations. Because what has been good 5 or 10 years ago may not be good enough today. You got to do a little better. So, and yes, we should sing and dance and play like little boys and girls, because it's all about rasa. Life is all about relationship and developing our true loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And believe it or not, then that will also improve our relationships with all other living entities. Okay, we got any comments or questions or reflections, or you're already Atmarama, you're already self-satisfied?
The one question is, running around my mind that you said to ask people on the road, who is Krishna? Would love to know from your voice that who is Krishna for you?
Who is Krishna for me? Krishna is love. Are people looking for love? One person said yes. I ask everybody. Love or logic? Who is stronger?
Could be both.
Huh?
Could be both.
Could be both, yeah. It makes people think a little bit, right?
Yep.
But ultimately, whatever we do in life, it's because we love someone. You get up in the morning because you love someone. Otherwise, why would you?
So the answer is love.
Yeah. Well, that's my answer. You got to come up with your answer. Otherwise, it's not credible. I can't give you your answer. You got to own it, And that means application. You have information without application does not lead to realization. And without realization, there's no transformation. People want to see that there's a change. You're actually a better person. You actually came out different by doing this bhakti thing. So, what is it to you? What is Krishna to you? It can be peace, it can be wisdom, it can be whatever it is for you. For me, it's taste and love. Those are the two things that drive me. And with love, I don't mean romantic love, I mean the real stuff, like selfless love, bhakti. And people get it. People actually get it. They actually appreciate it. Because that's what they're looking for. I started this when I was 15 years old, 40 years ago, especially here in the German-speaking area where things are very, very mind and brain-oriented. It was very hard to present this. But now, everybody already knows about karma, reincarnation, yoga, meditation, vegetarianism. This is all old stuff, You got to do a little better. You got to come up with something a little more daring, a little more exciting than that. So what's the more daring, exciting thing that you can actually communicate to people? What about selfless love? Huh? Yeah, feel free to share your realizations about bhakti. And you'd be surprised that right now people are teaching Nishkam Karma Yoga in Harvard Business School. You have a right to perform your duty, but you don't have the right to enjoy the result. It's not in your hands. So everyone is stealing from the same source, but they're not giving credit to Krishna. But a devotee is someone who says, this didn't grow in my own garden. This came from Krishna. That's a devotee. Because someone who has ulterior motives is just trying to make a buck, or is just trying to write a paper, or is just trying to keep their job or get a degree. But for a devotee, those things are they're not important. Because the devotee knows that if I please Krishna, then Krishna knows what I truly need and want. And he will exceed my aspirations. When I was a young kid, I wanted to travel the world, have a lot of friends, and be the best at what I do. Sounds stupid, but 15-year-old guy playing sports, what do you expect? And Krishna has exceeded my wildest dreams. So, you want to live an exciting life? Take this bhakti challenge and see where it takes you. And if you want to play it safe, don't go to Krishna. Okay? If you want to have a peaceful life and just, Do a little business. Keep your karmic spreadsheet. Okay, I've done a few bad things. I'm going to do a few good things. And we're going to somehow make it. Then don't go to Krishna. Because Krishna likes to play games. He'll give you things, then he'll take them away, and he does this, and he does that. That's Krishna. That's who you're dealing with.
High risk, high reward.
Huh?
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward. Absolutely. But no loss. Nehavikramanashasti pratyavayana vidyate svalbamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Because whatever you do for Krishna is in your eternal bhakti account. No inflation. Never. No diminution. It will accrue. It will accrue. And it will save you from the greatest fear. What is the greatest fear? That you'll have to take birth in a lower species, in a lower life form. That is the greatest danger, the greatest fear. Sometimes people think, I got unlimited chances. Well, what if you come as a tree or as a bird or as a squirrel, Not so much opportunity to engage in bhakti. There is no guarantee to get a human form. There's no guarantee to be born in a place where this is available. We don't have any guarantee. But we're not trying to, paint a danger-fear scenario, because fear-based religion is only appealing to certain types of people. We're not in that kind of market bracket, You contextualize it with your own words, and that will be powerful. Because, why? Because you own it. Because you paid the price of application. Okay? Last point. Okay, it's exciting to see devotees from all over the world here in Münster. And I see tremendous opportunity and potential. I feel we need to improve a little bit on our communication and teamwork, so we can actually do something. And I humbly ask you to use some of your experience, some of your skills, some of your realizations to help try to expand Bhakti, Krishna consciousness here in this area, because it's a team effort. As you have noticed, one guy can't do it. You need everybody. So, and that's the seva opportunity. We have Sangha, we have sadhana. Get up before the sun gets up, chant Hare Krishna, read the Gita, take a shower, put on a new shirt. You noticed, it does help, right? It does make a difference. And then, you do what you have to do. And at the same time, we should meditate like everyone in Vrindavan is meditating. What can I do to get Krishna's attention? What can I do to make Krishna happy? How can I please Krishna? And that is a wonderful meditation. Because there's unlimited of service opportunity. Just like, what do you like better? Eating or serving out prasad?
Eating.
Thank you for your honesty. How much can you eat?
Depends on the
How many roti?
5 roti.
5 roti. Okay. How many roti can you serve out?
500.
Minimum, yeah, right? You look pretty healthy. So, 500. So that means you can serve 100 times more than you can actually enjoy yourself. So, be aware of that. I'm not saying don't eat your 5 rotis, but what I'm saying is do both, you see? The problem is oftentimes people think it's this or that. No, it's both. You can do both. They're not mutually exclusive. And you'll notice that by the more service you do, the more your capacity to enjoy will increase exponentially. How about that? I know some people who can manage a dozen or 2 dozen of rotis. So, it's a fun process. Susukam kartumavyam. It is joyfully performed. Thank you for being here. And I know some of you think this is not a mandir, this is just somebody's home. It's just an apartment. Yes, you're right, but it's both. It's someone's home, but it's also a mandir. And if you want to see the big mandir, well, get your 5,000 friends together and the thing will come up in no time, you know. You want to put the man on the moon, all you have to do is you have to assemble a team and you have to give him a mission. That's all it takes. That's where you guys come into play. And, you know, everybody has a role to play. I'm just a little guy who comes by here to check on my old friend here, Rupa Vilas, and see how he's doing and how his team is growing. People want a mission. They want something, a purpose, something to actually, that gets you excited. Because just making and spending money is kind of boring, you know. It's not what life is all about. But there are better things to do in life. So feel free to think along those lines and discuss these topics. And I guarantee you that Krishna will empower you. I just spent 6 years in California, in the Bay Area, San Francisco, to set up student clubs and to start a center there. And I have two friends. They're both Gujus, Gujaratis. One is in tech and one is a patel. He has a small motel with 12 rooms. And they have put more than 1.2 or 3 million Bhagavad Gitas in hotels and motels all over the Americas. Pretty cool, right? Two guys. Not millionaires or billionaires, just hard-working guys. One has a little inn and the other one is working in tech. And they have done a lot. So, work smarter. Don't work harder. We're not asking you to work 3 jobs. We're asking you to use some of your talent for Krishna. And you will see how the demographics and how your experience of life, how your rasa will just evolve to something very beautiful, to something very amazing. So thank you again for being here and for Rupa Vilas and his good wife to open their hearts and their home to all of us, you know, to party here. And yeah, I see a very bright future. Well, we have to put on our thinking cap. Okay, I want Krishna in my life. What can I do? How can I be part of that team? So discuss it amongst yourself, and I'm sure Krishna will give you the intelligence. In the 10th verse of the Gita, of the 10th chapter, Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. That if you do whatever you do with love, Krishna will give you the intelligence how to come to Him. Pretty nice, huh? So whatever it is that you're doing during the day, do it with love for Krishna. And Krishna says, I'll give you the buddhi, I'll give you the intelligence. Like these guys, they got the intelligence how to play and how to wreck the place. Because Krishna gave them the intelligence. In a similar way, Krishna will give us the intelligence how to do whatever it is that we want to do. That's how kind Krishna is. Krishna empowers everybody. So, tomorrow is Sri Krishna Janmashtami. We're celebrating early because of logistical reasons. But this is Nitya Lila. The party goes on and on and on. So, spiritual life is a festival. It's not about austerity. Yeah, okay, you can also do some fasting and you can also do some vows. That's nice. But mainly it's a festival. It's a celebration. And Krishna, He is the king of the party. He knows how to party. As you may have noticed. Wasn't that a beautiful Abhishek? Wasn't that a beautiful bathing ceremony? It's not like jumping into the shower and, you know, throwing some soap on and jumping out, you know. This is style, right? This is Krishna. No one does this. So feel free to dive into this ocean of devotional service, of bhakti ras, and you will see how it will enhance the quality of your life. And you will have impact. Because the more you're connected with Krishna, Krishna is the source of everything, you will have gravitas, you will have substance. And your words, your deeds, your actions will have impact. If that's what you want, it's going to happen. And people will be curious why you are the way you are, what makes you you. And then feel free to share your heart, your realization, and people will be impressed. They will appreciate. The world And especially Germany right now are more ready than ever. Right now you can go on any street and talk with people about these topics. You may have to contextualize it and put it in words that they can relate to, but people are ready for this. The question is, are we ready to communicate it? Now, of course, we have to first apply it and imbibe it. So, thank you very much. Please get your own copy of Bhagavad Gita because you want to read a verse every day. I know you got phones and everything's online, but there's something special when you open that book and stick your nose in it. Have you noticed how it's a different energy? It's a different vibe? Because that phone thing, that's already going on. So change the energy, change the vibration, and pick up a Bhagavad Gita, take up your beads, and you will notice, you will get traction. You will actually make progress. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.